Imagine a late-night encounter at an orchard club that spirals into violence, jealousy, and unexpected consequences. What really went down that September night between a 26-year-old Singaporean man, his 40-year-old South Korean ex-girlfriend, and another mysterious patron? Stay tuned as we unravel this shocking story, one twist at a time. Hello and welcome to 2230. Today we dive into a troubling incident of jealousy, violence, and its aftermath involving a 26-year-old Singaporean man named Zachary Chung. This all started in the early hours of September 12, 2023, when Zachary was out drinking with his friends at a club in Orchard at around 3 a.m. He saw his ex-girlfriend, a 40-year-old South Korean national, with another patron who was buying flowers for her. This sight seemed to ignite jealousy in Zachary, and it all escalated from there. Roughly an hour and a half later, his ex-girlfriend was seen leaving the club in a taxi with the same patron. When she returned home at 5:30 a.m., Zachary confronted her, consumed by jealousy. But what happened next took a violent turn that no one could have anticipated. Zachary brutally punched and kicked his ex-girlfriend, including her head and face, and dragged her into her residence. He even cut her clothes, dress, and a soft toy. The rage didn't stop there, but there's more to this shocking story, so don't click away. As we continue, it's important to remember that the effects of such violence go far beyond physical injuries. The victim, after enduring the assault, had to be taken to Tock Seng Hospital by Zachary himself later that day at 4:10 p.m. After examining her injuries, the hospital immediately lodged a police report. How did this come to pass, and why did Zachary stick around to drive her to the hospital? Let us know what you think in the comments. Their relationship had ended back in May 2023, but despite their breakup, Zachary had stayed in contact with his ex-girlfriend and even stayed over at her place a few times until this incident. But did this suggest there were deeper issues brewing? The night of the incident, she had lost the key to her residence, only to find Zachary holding it when she returned home. It was at that point that the violence began, with Zachary demanding to know who the patron was. The victim sustained multiple injuries, including bruising, swelling, and tenderness on her hands, neck, back, and legs. And even worse, due to the assault, the fillers from a previous cosmetic procedure had moved, forcing her to travel back to Korea to fix the damage. This setback meant she couldn't resume work in Singapore until mid-October. After the incident, she had to be hospitalized for 5 days and was left to deal with 2,411 Singapore dollars and 5 cents in medical bills. But there's an interesting twist. The ex-girlfriend reached out to Zachary for help with her medical bills, and Zachary agreed to pay 1,650 Singapore dollars as partial restitution. How does this factor into their complex, toxic relationship? Should he have been allowed to pay part of her medical bills as restitution, or does this seem like an effort to repair his image? Chung pleaded guilty to one charge of voluntarily causing hurt and was sentenced to 1 week in jail on November 20th. While some might think a week in jail is too lenient given the extent of harm caused, the court also considered his emotional state during the act. According to his lawyer, Zachary had acted out of a loss of control over his emotions, with the assault being described as a frenzy rather than a targeted attack. It was further argued that Zachary had ambushed the victim and that, despite everything, he was still welcomed at her residence at the time. Let us know your thoughts. Does this make a difference in how we view his actions? For a charge of voluntarily causing hurt, the penalty could have been up to 3 years in jail, a fine of 5,000 Singapore dollars, or both. Do you think Zachary's 1-week sentence was appropriate, or should there have been a harsher penalty? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to 2230 for more detailed coverage of stories that matter. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for joining us.